Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Wisdom Wednesday. I'm Dorothy Dorton with AARP Alabama, and today we are talking about adult foster homes and just learning a little bit more about those. So, as you know, we at AARP empower people to choose how they live as they age. And we are a nonpartisan 501c4 that has over 420,000 members just in Alabama alone. AARP's role is to advocate for those 50 plus and their families. So this topic today really works into that, allowing people how to choose as how they age and where they live, for instance. So today we are joined by Ms. Billie Robinson. And I am going to tell you a little bit about her because she is a jack of all trades when it comes to this. But Billie began her career in 2006, where she worked as a case aide at Shelby County DHR. She graduated with a bachelor's degree in social work from the University of Montevallo. She simultaneously accepted a social work position in February of 2010, working in Chilton and Coosa Counties DHR as the only adult protective service worker. While working as a social worker in Chilton and Coosa County, Billie received the Spirit of APS Award in 2012. In 2013, she was promoted in Coosa County as the service supervisor, overseeing the child welfare and adult protective service programs. While working as a supervisor, Billie received a master's degree in social work from the University of Alabama in 2016. And in 2018, she was promoted to program specialist within the APS division at the state DHR, where she worked intake and constituent services. Billie later transferred positions with the APS unit at state DHR, working in the Elderly Disabled Adult Victim Services, also known as the EDAVS program. In July 2019, Billie accepted a position as the program supervisor, managing the EDAVS grant, researching and writing grants, and overseeing the adult foster home recruitment plan for the state of Alabama. So, Billie, welcome, and thank you for joining us today. We really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
So let's get started. This is something that I feel is very important, and of course, I know you feel that way too. And so adult foster homes, exactly what is an adult foster home?
So yes, adult foster homes are family residents that offer 24-hour care in a home-like setting. Most of us are very familiar with foster care for children, but many of us don't realize that there's actually adults who need foster homes.
Okay, so what exactly is the requirement for people who need care? Like, who are the type of people who qualify for an adult foster home?
Okay, so adults, most of them are age 18 and older, cannot live alone with their natural families due to the risk of adult abuse, neglect, or exploitation. There are also adults without families of their own or have families that are unable to care for them. They could be handicapped or elderly victims of abuse, neglect, or exploitation, and also adults that can live safely in a normal family setting but require extra assistance such as dressing, feeding, hygiene, or other daily activities.
Okay, so we're talking about folks that don't necessarily need nursing home care, but just need kind of a little extra help and don't really have any other place to go. Is that where we're
Yes, that is correct. It is someone that could potentially live in a community setting, but just require a little extra assistance.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, wonderful. And so if someone is interested in becoming a provider, as far as, having and hosting an adult foster home, what are those requirements?
Sure. So I've listed on the screen several requirements, but that provider must be 19 years or older. They must be able to read and write, have a driver's license, also have liability insurance on the automobile. They must have sufficient income to meet their own needs. They can have a job, but the work must not interfere with providing the care for the client. The household members must be willing to accept the client in their homes, and that's all household members. So if there's a provider that has several household members, every single one in the household must be willing to accept that client into their home.
Mhm.
The home must have a telephone and adequate space for that client. Every client has to have a bedroom of their own. Also, that potential provider must have a substitute care provider, someone that can step in when they're not able to provide their care. But most of all, I will say that they have the ability and the desire to provide this type of care to the person served.
Okay. So does the provider have to live in the home with the clients?
Yes, all of the homes, the foster homes that are licensed are in home. So that person, that client that comes in, they would live in that person's home.
Okay. Okay. And do the people who are the providers, do they receive a stipend or anything from the state for doing this, or?
They do. It is an agreement as well between that client and that foster home provider. So that foster home provider will be paid through the state and also from that client that enters their home.
Okay. Okay. And are there any background checks required of anybody involved in this?
Yes, ma'am. All of our foster home providers do have to have a thorough background check.
Okay. Awesome. Great. That is really good information to know. And I think you have a video here that tells a little bit more about it.
Yeah, so if you would just play that video, it is a commercial that we produced. We have a goal throughout the state, and that is to recruit and license at least one foster home provider in every county by the end of the year. Currently, I believe we have 21 that's licensed through the state of Alabama. So we have 67 counties, so we have a little bit to go. But this is a commercial that we produced, and is out there for everyone to see. But I thought it would be great just to kind of bring everything together to show what adult foster home is.
Sure. All right. Let's play that now.
There are many adults in Alabama who cannot take care of themselves. Some of them need foster homes. The Alabama Department of Human Resources has a critical need for caring men and women to provide safe and supportive homes for vulnerable adults. Make a difference in someone's life. Be an adult foster care provider because love never ages. For more information, visit dhr.alabama.gov/AFC. Sponsored by the Alabama Department of Human Resources, the Alabama Broadcasters Association, and this station.
That's a great video, Billy.
Thank
you. Yeah. So, some of the things I was thinking about as watching that and listening to you, one of the questions I had is what's the process for placement? Like, can a provider and a client kind of get together beforehand and see if they're a good fit, and can, if one of them feels like it's not a good fit, can they say no?
Yeah, that's a great question. Before any person is placed into someone's home that's licensed, we do have a procedure, and they'll do a visit with each other just to get to know each other, ask several questions. I know that foster home provider may have questions for that person. That person may have questions for that provider of just what goes on in their home. So we make sure that we arrange a meeting for both of them so they can get together and ask any questions. And it is going to be both sides. So if that foster home provider is not comfortable, or they just have additional questions, or they can say no, they can say yes and move forward. And then that foster home client also has that option to say yes or no, or to ask additional questions. So we make sure that they're both very comfortable with each other before that person goes into that person's home.
Okay, great. And just another question. Can somebody who is interested in being a provider, say it's a distant relative or a good friend that may need some extra care, can it be someone that they already know, like a good longtime friend or something that just needs some help and they can provide for them? Or is it a little more stringent than that?
No, they would have to be a client of the departments. We would have to be working with them, and they would have to need placement. They would have to be at risk for abuse, neglect, or exploitation. So unfortunately, it could not be someone that they know.
Right. Okay. That makes perfect sense. So that's good to know. So here are your contact information for this, and there's a big need in this. You said how many did you say? 21 in the state? Is
That's
that right?
correct. That's how many are licensed currently.
Right. So I'm sure that we could always use some more because, unfortunately, these things do happen more commonly, it seems, these days. So, they're always looking for some great folks who are willing to give some time and give a place to these older adults who are, just kind of, in limbo right now and just really need somebody to care for them and show them that not the world isn't as bad as sometimes it seems. So, Billie, thank you so much. Is there anything else you'd like to add or?
Yeah, if you go back to the contact slide, you can contact that 1-800-458-7214. That is a hotline number. You can speak to someone and get some information sent to you, as well as ask any additional questions that you may have. The web address, the dhr.alabama.gov/AFC. There is additional information on that website as well, so you can go to that link and then also pull different forms. There's an inquiry form that you can fill out as well on there. Our email address is listed below. You can always email us and ask additional questions.
Perfect. That is some great information. Well, Billie, I really do appreciate you talking with us today, and thank you so much. This was very informative, and like I said, it really helps AARP with our mission to help people choose how they age. So what a great resource you are, and thank you for everything you do. I know your job has got to be a tough one, so thanks for all you do and all of your colleagues too. We really appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
All right, folks. Well, that ends our Wisdom Wednesday for this month, and we will see you next month when we talk about Medicare open enrollment. So have a great one, and we'll see you in October.